Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Grades.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene.
Hey everybody, Tony Beers here again. Or, for this review, maybe I should say, introducing Antonio Cerveza. What do you think?
No, I don't like it. you just insulted me and offended me real quick. It wasn't even with the name, just being here. It just offended me.
Anyway, I'm here with my friend Lupe, the Mexi. You want to say that?
Sure.
And we're here to review Machete Kills.
Well, I'm actually here to review Machete Kills.
Yeah. He can't pronounce machete.
Alright.
But yeah, that's the way they say it in the movie. Say it again.
Machete.
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 I can't say it, I guess.
We'll just say machete
Skip.
to make it easier.
I'll say it, okay. In Machete Kills, the President of the United States asks Machete to kill a Mexican cartel leader who has a nuclear missile aimed at Washington, D.C. In exchange for this, the President promises to erase Machete's criminal record and make Machete a U.S. citizen. So let's say we'll talk about the acting first. What do you think of the acting?
Well, the acting itself was kind of a little bit cheesy, but the movie itself has like a cheesy over the top feel, so it didn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
So it kind of fit with the whole movie, the way the movie was, in my opinion.
Okay. I guess I have to agree with you. I mean, it's supposed to be an over the top movie, so they got some over the top acting in it. The weakest actor in it, I would say, would probably be Lady Gaga. Would you agree with that?
No, she didn't really do any acting. I mean, she just kind of just did stuff. I won't say it was weak acting. I don't say Jessica Alba just because I think she's horrible. But she was briefly in the movie, so.
Right, yeah. Personally, I think there might be too many characters in the movie. For example, that actress who was in the Spy Kids movie, what's her name?
Vega.
Alexa Vega. Looked hot, had a nice ass, was wearing a thong. But did she say more than one sentence?
Yeah, I think her part, like, if she wasn't in the movie, you wouldn't really notice, except for that the ass part at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really anything that the movie could have done about it.
Oh yeah, you know, we met the crazy babysitter twins, and they didn't. Well, they never have a big part in his movies, anyways.
They're just cameo girls anyway.
Pretty much, and so they, you know, that's average for them, so I can excuse that. There was a girl with them.
Yeah,
did you recognize who
I
that
didn't
was?
recognize her. I'm assuming she was the first one, but I couldn't place her right on top of my head. So.
And I might be wrong about this. We were arguing about this, but I could have sworn, I forget his real name, but Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite was in the movie.
Of course, because, hey, I saw a guy who looks Mexican. Well, I had a mustache. It had to have been Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. Who else could have been? It could have been anybody else. Of course.
Yes, exactly. They all look the same, so yeah.
So you're a horrible person.
What do you think of Mel Gibson?
I thought he was pretty good as again, over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it suited him. And I guess because all the the stuff he's done in the headlines, he kind of really played a maniacal person pretty convincingly. Except for the whole sci-fi stuff.
He doesn't in this movie. He doesn't go by Charlie Sheen. He goes by Carlos Estevez.
Yeah, they introduced him to Carlos. Yeah, new actor.
Introducing
There's a bright future, Carlos Estevez. And keep an eye on this guy. A lot of big things I think coming for him.
I thought that was pretty clever that they did it that way. Is that you think that's his real name? I think that is.
Yes, that is his real name. That's why he's able. Now that you know he's Hispanic, that's why he's able to do all these mass quantities of drugs and nothing happens to him. And that's the secret. Or people wonder why. That's what it is.
The Mexican people built up an immunity, so he said.
Pretty much. Unless he's Colombian, then he's like immortal. So.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, what do you think of his acting?
It was alright, but he didn't really have his part wasn't major. It was just kind of just like felt like fillers, just to get the story going. Like, and he didn't have. Yeah, I guess he had like a part, but it wasn't a huge part. Nothing too integral because they didn't really even show him. I think after that beginning part, just a couple pieces here and there.
I think he was integral to the plot.
Yeah, but then nothing spectacular really stands out. Like, oh, it was, what a great movie that Carlos Estevez was in this movie. Like it was. Anyone really could have done that role.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, what do you think of the action?
Oh, the action I thought was kick-ass. I thought some fight scenes could have been better or longer. I think like Machete's fights with some of the guys were like kind of over quick. Like in the first fight with that one henchman.
Yeah.
That was kind of quick. And but the girl fights with anything with Michelle Rodriguez, I think is always a good fight. And I always think that she could legitimately do all that stuff.
Yeah, you believe that from her. She seems like a tough girl.
Like she could get shot and then she'd still kill you anyway. So
Yeah. That goes to her acting because you believe that she'd be a tough girl, like you said.
Yeah, she's kind of hot.
That's true. That's one complaint I had about Catwoman. What was her name? Anne Hathaway. It finally came to me.
Go.
I got it before you did.
All right.
She didn't in Dark Knight Rises. She didn't come off as a tough girl to me, in my personal opinion. Whereas Michelle Rodriguez would have been a better Catwoman, I think.
She has a more badass look.
Yes.
I would have done the suit more justice also, because I think Anne Hathaway's all that.
Yeah. She had. Michelle Rodriguez got a better figure, I think. Yeah. Action, I have to agree with you. It's this type of the movie where the action's over the top. Going into if you've seen the first Machete, did I say it right? Machete movie, you know what to expect here. So, you're getting more of the same. In fact, I think the action was better in this movie. That's just my opinion.
With sequels, you don't really have to do too much of a story. It's already, because the first movie you always establish the character.
Yeah.
So this movie he's already established, so the actions, they tend to be more action packed.
Right. Special effects, and what I was saying is I didn't like the CGI blood. No. Okay, what do you think of the special effects?
Well, the CGI blood doesn't bother me in an action movie. It usually just bothers me in a horror movie.
Yeah.
An action movie, I mean, again, it was supposed to be over the top, so you had insane kills and bullets. It just helped to add to me, in my opinion, it helped add to the exaggeration of how the movie was overall.
I see your point, but
Yeah, we just gotta argue because.
But like I was saying before, that it's supposed to be like those grindhouse movies from the 70s, and then back then they didn't have CGI, so.
Yes, but I would say they had kind of was how crazy looking special effect blood splurts, which I think emulated it.
All right, I have to agree to disagree on that one. Story. What'd you think of the story itself?
Oh, I enjoyed the story. It wasn't kind of like a simple story, just was like a wild goose chase type thing with the I forgot the other character's name, but pretty simple. But sometimes all you need is a simple story when it's an action movie anyway. That's what I thought. I mean, I'm sure you have a more psychological view of it.
Actually, I thought the story it was fine, but I think it's the opposite of you. Actually, I thought it was kind of complex. I thought.
Oh yeah, it kind of you have a point, but I think it wasn't necessarily over complex. It was just when you have all the characters they're introducing, it just kind of muddies it a bit because it's just too much going on. I think you mentioned that earlier. There's like all these characters coming in, so it kind of just made it hard to follow a little bit because you're wondering where this has to do with the movie, which you didn't find out till later.
Right, and it's like, this isn't really spoilers, but some characters you don't know if they're a good guy or a bad guy, and sometimes they switch, and you don't know, and that's where I felt was kind of overdone. It's like, okay, who can we trust in this movie? You can't really trust anyone.
Maybe that was their point. Maybe they wanted you to think that you don't know who to trust. Oh, look at that.
It's like everybody had some kind of ulterior motive. The movie sets up for a sequel, and that's another thing I kind of complain about the story is because it doesn't really end. It's just like it ends on a cliffhanger, and I prefer movies, even though when they're part of trilogy or something that they have a more of a complete full story. And this one,
Well, I disagree. I think he did have a full story because he did, which I won't say what the story is, but I mean he did do what he was supposed to do, but then he just had the extra cliffhanger just to lead into the movie. I think the story itself that they were doing was wrapped up somewhat, which is a little bit for the sequel to expand.
I see your point, but I kind of disagree. Well, again, but the first Machete movie, it ended, and it didn't really have a cliffhanger, but it had a more satisfying ending to me. I think it just kind of ended, and it kind of set it up for a sequel. You know, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but you know, Machete rides off with Jessica Alba at the end, which actually didn't kind of make too much sense, but it's kind of set up for a sequel. But this one had more of that. It was they set up for a sequel at the very beginning.
You know, but at the same time,
they have a trailer for the sequel.
When they made the first movie, you know, there's no guarantee it's going to be successful. So you don't always want to lead into a. You always do that pseudo. It's kind of an opening, but at the same time, it could be an ending in case the movie bombs. We don't have to worry about if there was ever a sequel planned.
Yeah, but in this one, it was more...
I mean, technically, you don't seem to have a problem with Empire Strikes Back on the cliffhanger. That one's okay, but anything else is wrong. So, yeah, you gotta pick one. You're okay or it's not okay.
But I'm just saying, it was some movies, you know, like the end that you were talking about Masters of the Universe, where it ends with Skeletor coming up. There's some movies out there that they set up for a sequel, and then they never have one. So
yeah, but they probably didn't think the movie was gonna bomb big time. So.
But you know, I'm just saying.
I remember Super Mario Brothers. They had a
yes.
That was a horrible movie.
Yes. And they say they could have avoided that.
But they probably thought, it's Mario Brothers, we'll make $1 billion. No easy money. It doesn't matter what the movie's about. And they're wrong.
It's just safer not to have those kind of cliffhanger endings, is all I'm saying.
Wow. But they probably knew, I mean, it's a popular character. Maybe the movie was easy to produce, not a lot of money, so they'll get their investment back real quick. So you're guaranteed to make a sequel.
You got a point there.
I'm always right. I'm always right.
Okay, well, I think we should wrap this up and give your final thoughts and your grade, please, sir.
I would give the movie a B. I did enjoy it, but there was a lot of hot chicks and not even the briefest of nudity. It was kind of a little offended by it. I was like, come on. Yeah, plenty of good opportunities, and we didn't get rewarded for it, so I have to give it a B.
Give it a B. I think, well, I have to kind of agree with you there that, you know, it didn't really make sense that, you know, the first Machete movie had, well, I wouldn't say a lot of nudity, but it had its fair share, and this one had none at all. I don't think.
Wow. Disappointing. I mean, I went there thinking, all right, we're gonna get, I don't know, Sophia maybe.
But if you've seen the first Machete movie, you know what to expect. This is more of the same thing. In fact, I would say this has even more of over the top stuff to it. This is way more over the top. Well, not way more, but a lot more over the top than the first one. The first one was more realistic, somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat.
So, you know, if you like that kind of movie, you know, and if you like just crazy,
brutal,
over the top movies, you know, and funny it's funny in many parts too, then this is the movie for you. You know, you know, it delivers on what it promises. You know, it's more of Machete hacking, slashing people, and a lot of crazy violence and good humor and stuff exploding.
Yeah, a lot of explosions.
And there's a lot of ridiculousness to it too. But I mean, like you said, that's what they're trying to do.
One thing I mentioned is it kind of feels like a '60s comic book.
60s,
like a live action '60s comic book.
Yeah. So if that's what you want, this is the movie for you. So I recommend it on that level. If that's not your thing, why are you going to see a Machete movie? So
yeah, I think it's one of those movies you have to know ahead of time what kind of movie it is.
Yeah.
It's not like a traditional action film. It's
No.
very different.
So I'd have to go a little bit lower than you. Give it a B minus, just because. That's me.
Probably just to be argumentative, also.
Yes, that's just me. I have higher standards than you. So.
Oh, see, no. I won't get into that one. Then we'll be here all day.
So that's about it. My name is Antonio Cerveza for this interview for this review, and this is.
My name is Lupe Martinez.
Hey, sorry that video cut out right there, but I've got some exciting news. This is Toxic Pop's very first contest. Now, as I said earlier in the video, Lupe and I went up to Motor City Comic Con earlier this year, and we met Electra and Elise Evelyn. I'm sorry, I might be pronouncing their names wrong, but they played the Babysitter Twins in Planet Terror, and they were also nurses in Machete Kills, which we just reviewed. Anyway, when we were up there, we got them to sign autographs for us, and they were so nice that they also gave us a 8x10 poster of Machete Kills signed by both of them to give away to our fans. Now we decided, well, okay, we can have a contest to see who gets this really nice poster signed by both of them again. And to do this, you only have to do 5 things. Okay, first you have to like this video. You have to be subscribed to this YouTube channel. You have to comment on this video. And you have to like our Facebook page. And the last thing is do an impersonation of Machete. I'm kidding. You don't have to do an impersonation of Machete, but if you do, you're almost guaranteed to win. So, again, be subscribed to us. Like us on Facebook. Like this video. Comment on this video. And I will, at random, after, I'll say, a month or 2 after this is posted, I'll go by at random and look at the comments and pick out a name and see. I have to make sure that you're subscribed, that you're like us on Facebook, and if you meet all the criteria, then I will send you this poster. Of course, I'll send you a private message on your YouTube channel, and you can tell me your address, and I'll just zip it out. So, just do all those things, and this signed poster can be yours. Alright, I'm Tony Beers, and for Lupe Martinez, the Mexicy, we'll both see you next time. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.